My greedy sister took our parents' $10 million inheritance, but 3 months later, the air inside Clarkson and Associates law firm was heavy with silence. Dark mahogany walls surrounded us, lined with shelves of old law books that smelled faintly of leather. And dust, a single chandelier flickered above, casting its glow across the polished table where I sat nervously. My palms sweated as I glanced up a manila folder in front of Mr. Clarkson, our family lawyer for over 2 decades. Across from me, Jessica sat in her designer dress, legs crossed elegantly, lips painted crimson. She didn't look like someone grieving our parents. She looked like a woman who was about to win. I had seen that smirk on her face since childhood, the same one she wore when she pushed me aside to grab the last cookie or when she lied her way into getting the lead role. In a school play, "Thank you for coming," Clarkson said in his calm, professional tone. He adjusted his glasses and opened the will. My chest tightened. I expected fairness. Our parents, despite their flaws, had always preached balance. I wasn't greedy, but I believed naively that justice would be served. Clarkson cleared his throat. To my daughter, Jessica Anderson, I leave the Anderson estate, valued at approximately $10 million in its entirety. The words felt like a hammer to my chest. I froze. Entirety. 10 million. To her, Jessica leaned back, smirk widening, eyes glittering with triumph. She didn't even glance at me. My world tilted. I tried to breathe, but the room seemed to shrink. Clarkson looked at me sympathetically, but the law bound him. "I'm sorry, Michael. That's the instruction left behind." I couldn't move, couldn't speak. My parents' faces flashed in my mind, my father's strong hands guiding me to ride. A bike, my mother's warm laugh when I read her my first short story. Had they really believed Jessica deserved everything? Had they believed I deserved nothing? Jessica finally turned to me, her voice dripping with mock pity. "Don't look so shocked, brother. You always knew I was the favorite." The words sliced deeper than the will itself. That evening, Jessica insisted on hosting dinner at the family mansion. The house looked the same: white columns, golden chandeliers, roses in the front garden, but it no longer felt like home. It felt like hers. She sat at the head of the table where our father used to sit. A glass of wine in hand, she raised it with theatrical flair. "To new beginnings," she toasted. Her diamond bracelet sparkled under the light. I didn't raise my glass. "How could you take everything?" I asked quietly, my voice trembling. Jessica laughed, a sound sharp enough to break glass. "Oh, Michael, don't be so dramatic. You never cared about money anyway. You're the humble one, remember?" I clenched my fists. "It's not about the money. It's about betrayal, about fairness." Her eyes narrowed. "Fairness? Life isn't fair, Michael. I was the one who took care of Dad when his heart failed. I was the one who kept Mom company when you were off chasing your little dreams. They rewarded the child who mattered." Her words hit me like daggers. I wanted to scream that I had been there too, that I had sat by Mom's hospital bed reading to her, that I had worked quietly to keep the family's dignity intact. But Jessica had rewritten history, just as she had always done. I looked around the table, the silver cutlery, the crystal glasses, the empty chairs where our parents once sat, and I realized something. This house was dead. It had died with them, and Jessica's greed had buried it deeper. I stood. "Enjoy your fortune, Jessica, but don't call it love. Don't call it family." Her laugh followed me out of the dining room, echoing in my ears long after I slammed the door at dawn. I stood in my childhood bedroom for the last time. The wallpaper was faded, the bookshelves still filled with novels I'd collected over the years. On the dresser sat a photograph of me and Jessica as children, smiling with ice cream cones in hand. For a moment, I wondered where that sister Had gone the one who held my hand when thunderstorms scared me. I packed only what I could carry: clothes, a few books, my laptop, and the photo of Mom and Dad at their anniversary. I left behind the grand furniture, the chandeliers, the marble. Floors. None of it mattered anymore. As I rolled my suitcase down the hallway, Jessica leaned against the wall, arms crossed, sipping her morning espresso. Running away already? She asked casually. I'm not running, I said, refusing to meet. Her gaze. I'm waiting behind poison, she chuckled. You'll regret this. You'll see how hard life is without money. I paused at the door, then looked back. No, Jessica. You'll see how hard life is without love. Her smile faltered for just a second. Then I stepped outside into the morning light, inhaling the air of freedom, even if it came with nothing but uncertainty. 3 weeks later, Jessica's face was plastered all over social media and gossip magazines. Heiress Jessica Anderson buys Miami mansion. Jessica throws lavish yacht party. Young millionaire seen driving new Lamborghini. Her new world was one of champagne fountains, rooftop parties, and endless designer shopping sprees. She paraded through Miami with a new group of glamorous friends, men in suits, women in glittering gowns. Cameras followed her every move, and she relished it. Meanwhile, I rented a small one-bedroom apartment in Chicago. I worked odd freelance jobs, cooked my own meals, and learned to live simply. My evenings were spent reading, writing, and walking along the lake. It wasn't glamorous, but it was peaceful. Occasionally, I'd scroll through her Instagram. There she was, posing in front of her mansion, her smile blinding, surrounded by people who looked more like wolves than friends. Her caption spoke of happiness, but her eyes betrayed something hollow. Money can buy lights and music, but it cannot fill silence. By the second month, whispers reached me through old family contacts. Jessica had invested millions in a Florida real estate project, a high-rise luxury condo development. Her partners were notorious for scams. Men who promised quick profits but left investors ruined. I tried calling her once. She didn't answer. Instead, she texted, "Stop worrying. I know what I'm doing," but her posts grew less frequent. The party seemed smaller. Her smile looked tighter. Her followers noticed too. "You look tired, Jess," one comment read. Another, "Where are your friends?" I knew where. They had moved on to their next victim. One rainy afternoon, my phone buzzed. "Mr. Clarkson, Michael, could you come by my office? There's something I didn't share with you last time. Your parents left you a personal letter." When I arrived, he handed me a cream envelope, sealed with my mother's handwriting. My hand shook as I opened it. "My dear son, Michael, if you are reading this, then we are gone. Please understand that money is a burden as much as it is a blessing. We trusted Jessica with it because we feared she could not survive without it. You, Michael, already carry what money cannot buy: honor, kindness, and resilience. Guard these values. They are our true legacy. This is your inheritance." Tears blurred my vision. I pressed the letter to my chest. At that moment, I realized I had not been disinherited. I had been entrusted. The Miami project collapsed in spectacular fashion. News outlets covered it relentlessly. Heiress loses millions in fraud scheme. Jessica Anderson sued by investors. Her mansion went up for sale. Cars repossessed. Jewelry auctioned off. And the so-called friends vanished. Even her boyfriend, a sleek man who once posed on her yacht, disappeared overnight, taking her remaining jewelry with him. Cameras caught her leaving a bankruptcy hearing. Her once perfect hair was messy, her eyes swollen from crying. She pushed past reporters, muttering no comment, but the photo said everything. I watched the news in silence. Karma didn't knock politely. It tore down her door. It was a stormy night in Chicago. When I heard it, A faint knock on my apartment door. When I opened it, Jessica stood there, soaked to the bone, mascara running down her cheeks, her once flawless face was now fragile, human. Michael, she whispered, her voice breaking, I have nowhere else to go. For a long moment, I just stared. The sister who once laughed at me, who had stolen everything, was now trembling on my doorstep, stripped of her wealth, her pride, her empire. My heart battled itself. Anger burned, but compassion whispered. I finally stepped aside. Come in. I gave her a towel, made her tea, and listened as she cried. She told me about the scams, the lawsuits, the betrayals, about waking up alone in an empty mansion, realizing she had bought nothing but shadows. I need your help, she begged. Please, I don't have anyone else. I stared into her eyes. For years, I had dreamed of this moment of seeing her beg. But now that it was here, I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired. Jessica, I said softly, I can't give you money. I don't have any, but I can give you advice. Rebuild with honesty. Work for once. Earn respect, not attention. She looked stunned. For once, she didn't argue. Jessica left my apartment the next morning. I don't know where she went, but her last words echoed, maybe I'll try. As for me, I felt lighter. I returned to my simple routines, writing, working, walking by the lake. I wasn't rich, but I was free. My parents' letters stayed by my bedside. Their words guided me: honor, kindness, resilience. Jessica had inherited money, that I had inherited wisdom. And in the end, wisdom was the only fortune that couldn't be stolen, wasted, or betrayed. I didn't need $10 million. I already had everything I needed.